Hi friends, welcome back. With 2024 coming to a close, I can't believe it's December. It's actually insane. I've been waiting for like the holidays and they've come out of nowhere. Which I have no complaints because I love the holidays, but I also love the anticipation of the holidays. But with December and the end of 2024 coming, which is also crazy, it is my favorite time of the year, which is when everyone does their end of year book tags, their 2025 TBRs, their wrap ups for 2024. Those are all my favorite things to watch. So today, fun and exciting, we're going to be doing the end of year book tag. I have a few questions here and we're just going to go through them together. So let's get into it. Alright, the first question we have is a book you started this year that you need to finish, and I have started many books this year that I need to finish, but they're not necessarily, I don't even know if they count as need to finish or just like I feel the need to finish them for some reason, even if they're books that I'm not really enjoying. They're pre-DNFs is what I would like to call them, but out of all of them, I do have one that is definitely not a pre-DNF, and this is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. I decided to reread the whole series like a month or like 2 months ago, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna read the first one because I used to reread them all the time, but I haven't done like a full reread in so long, and I just wanted to go and like commit and do the whole thing. I figured I was gonna read like 2 of them and give up. So I'm actually so proud of myself for reaching the point of getting to the Deathly Hallows. My cat is gonna join us. But I finally made it to Deathly Hallows and I've been dragging on it. I've probably been reading it for like 2 or 3 weeks now, and I've just started reading other stuff, and I think that's my little part of my brain doesn't want me to finish a series, because I do this all the time with like, it doesn't matter how long the series is. If I get to the last book, it takes me so long to finish it because I just can't get myself to do it. So I don't know, I think that's my own personal issue that I have to work through, but that is something I will be finishing before the end of the year because I have it on audiobook, I have it on my Kindle, I have no excuses. I'm also like halfway through it, so at this point I'm definitely committed to finishing. But when I restarted like my reread, it really brought me back to just my love for the series and the childhood nostalgia. And I feel like I've been reading so much just like either plot heavy or like romance heavy books that it was so nice to read something middle grade. I don't know what it was. It just like, I got so immersed in it. I'm obsessed with it. It has reignited my love for the series. And also you can read it on Kindle Unlimited, so you don't have to buy them. And any copy I have of the book, I have purchased from a used bookstore. So if you have gripes about, not gripes, but like, you don't want to spend your money and support certain people, you can always buy secondhand and stuff like that. Get it where you don't have to directly give those people money, and you can support your local used bookstores, etc. So I'm also in libraries. I'm listening to it through Libby. Fantastic options. But definitely something that I need to finish, and I'm so close. So it's gonna happen. Number 2, we have 3 books you want to read before the end of the year. And this one was so hard for me for some reason because I have so many books. I'm so ambitious. I have so many things that I want to read before the end of the year, and while I was looking at it, I was like, this is not physically possible. Unless I just like quit my job, never see anyone for the next 3 weeks, and do absolutely nothing but eat, breathe, sleep, die, reading. I would have to commit to that to be able to finish everything. So I picked 3 that I knew I'm gonna say I knew are feasible, but no matter how short they are, if I'm a big mood reader, if I can't get into the mood to read it, I'm not gonna read it. So, but number 1, we have Spectacular by, oh my god, I forgot her name for a second, Stephanie Garber. I'm so excited about this. I didn't even know she was like coming out with a novella until it was like right about to be released. And this is a novella from the Caraval series. I love the Caraval series, but I really love Once Upon a Broken Heart. So I wish this would have been Once Upon a Broken Heart, but I do love a little Christmassy type of novella-esque book where it's like so short, but it has beautiful illustrations. Like, stop it. Tell me that isn't so pretty. But there's illustrations throughout the book too. Like, it's practically in color. It's like black and white and gray and glorious. I'm so excited to read this. Honestly, I just want to sit down and read it right this second. Because I really loved, oh my god, what is that even called? Some of the novella from the Cruel Prince series, The Folk of the Air. There's that novella that's like illustrated, and this made me think of that, and I loved that book so much more than I ever could have anticipated. I just think I'm a novella lover. I love a novella. So that is number 1. Number 2, I have The Bridge Kingdom, the first book specifically, and it just came to me on Libby. So I'm ready. I'm ready to come in and read it. But I've been wanting to read this series for so long, and I know they just like republished the covers. I almost bought the first one the other day, but I wanted to try it out on Kindle first, like through the library, just to like see how it is, because I don't really know a ton about the Bridge Kingdom series. I just know that a lot of people love it, and I also like the author, so I am excited for that. I should say who the author is. She also did one of my favorite books that came out this year, A Fate Inked in Blood. I should just look up Danielle L. Jensen. Fantastic. I loved A Fate Inked in Blood, and I feel as though like if I like the way someone writes, I don't even necessarily need to know what the book's about. I will just, there's like she's an instant buy author. I just love the way she writes, so I know I'm going to, at least to a certain extent, enjoy the book. So I'm giving it a try. And the third one is just going back to my obsession with middle grade right now, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. It's winter. I'm currently snowed in from like mass amounts of snow that has been occurring over the past like week. We have just been slammed with snowstorms, and what better to read in a snowstorm than the iconic The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, which I almost watched yesterday. I was like, oh my god, I should watch it, but if I watch it, I will feel less like committed to reading it, because I like to do it the opposite way. Like, I want to read it, even though I've already seen the movies like a million times. I want to read it and then watch it again. But, so those are my 3 picks for the end of the year. They're good December books, I feel like. Bridge Kingdom is blue, so maybe it matches the Christmassy vibes. Okay, moving on to number 3. Book that was on your TBR the longest, and this definitely takes the cake. The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, which, again, one of my favorite books that I've read this year. So good, so cute. It's definitely like those cozy reads. There's not much going on at all, but I really enjoyed it. It has been on my TBR, I don't even know how long, since it came out, practically. And because everyone was obsessed with it. They were talking about how great it was, and anytime I felt the mood to read it, it was no longer like spooky time, and it does not need to be. It doesn't need to be. I know it's about witches, but it's not, I don't think, in any way associated with fall. At least I'm pretty sure. Like, it's more of like springtime, if I'm being honest. But I still had that weird commitment that I had to read it in fall. So that is what happened. I didn't read it until a couple months ago. Big fan. I definitely recommend. It is just like so, it's the same vibes that you would get from reading like the Travis Baldree books. I can't even remember what those are called. Or like Tea and Treason, if you've heard of those books. I know there's like another one too. Those just like Tress of the Emerald, I'm not going to compare it to Tress of the Emerald Sea. I'm sorry. Tress of the Emerald Sea is like the ultimate cozy book, but also has a really good plot. So I can't compare anything to that, honestly. Okay, my favorite reread, of course, it has to be Harry Potter. I'm not gonna continue to ramble about this. It's just, again, reignited my love for middle grade and just childhood nostalgia. So, big fan. And Half Price Books, girl. Go get you a copy. Moving on. Favorite new author is our next question, and this one was so easy for me. I didn't even have to think about it, if I'm being honest. I knew instantly. She came into my head immediately, and that is Abby Jimenez. Honestly, just because of this book. I've read her other books too, which I also love, but Just for the Summer was the first book I read by Abby Jimenez, and I am obsessed with her. She has now joined my romance girly ranking, which was previously just Emily Henry and Allie Hazelwood. Abby Jimenez is in there now. They're a trio, and I will read literally anything that they write. I just can't help it. I have to. They're fantastic. This one is so good. If you want to pick up like Abby Jimenez and you haven't read it, and I haven't read all of her books, but if you want a good one to start with, do Just for the Summer, especially in the summertime, which is when I read it. It's fantastic. It's like based on a lake house. Like you literally have to take a boat to get to the house. It's amazing. I have no other words for it. Okay, moving on after my intermission of changing my camera battery. We have, this one always not always trips me up, as if I say this all the time. This one trips me up. It's the favorite debut author book. So like the favorite book you've read that is from a debut author. At least that's how I'm interpreting it. I'm pretty sure that's what it means. But this is, of course, Where the Dark Stands Still by A.B. Poranek. I'm pretty sure I've already gushed about this book many times, but I mean, girl, come on. Look how stunning. You can't just you can't. It's so gorgeous just from looking at it. You don't even need to know what it's about. I mean, you probably want to, but it is like this beautiful, whimsical fantasy story. Though I will say the ending literally gave me a panic attack, which sounds so horrible. You'd think I would hate this book because it caused me pain and suffering. But I was obsessed with this book. I read it in literally one sitting. It was fantastic. It is whimsical. This girl lives in she goes into the forest and is living with this guy. It's literally Howl's Moving Castle if it was just in a cottage in the woods, which I guess Howl's Moving Castle is kind of like that, but a little bit different. And the magic in it is beautiful, and just everything honestly about this story is absolutely perfect. I can't believe it's a debut story. I don't know, it's a classic, honestly. It's written so beautifully. You have to read it, especially if you love things like Tress of the Emerald Sea, Howl's Moving Castle, those things. They're just very beautifully written, just whimsical, unique stories. I'm obsessed. I also love anything based in a forest. Give it to me, I'll read it. But I love this one. The ending, again, gave me a horrible panic attack because you're waiting for the satisfaction at the end, and it just never comes. I don't know if that is a spoiler for anyone, but yeah, you're just waiting for something to happen, and it's it doesn't happen, and then you just don't get that satisfaction from it. But again, I still recommend. It's fantastic. And now that I've ruminated with the ending, because I read it months ago, I have come to love the way it ended. It is very beautiful. Please write another one. A.B. Poranek, give me more. Even though I know they are coming out with another book in 2025, which I will be reading. And the final question, which is the biggest letdown of the year. This one is probably not surprising to people, and I think a lot of people can agree to this, and have maybe even had this as their answer as well. and that is Crescent City 3. And what is this one? House of Shadow and Flame. I have a copy of it actually, but it's on rent to one of my friends, so I do not have my physical copy on me. I don't know why I had so much hopes for it, because I actually don't like this series at all, which is so sad because I love Sarah J Maas, I love Akhtar, I love Throne of Glass. Like, Throne of Glass is an elite series, nothing has topped it for me, and Crescent City is just like, I don't think I really like modern fantasy, like where they're living in a city and they have cell phones, and it kind of brings me out of it. It doesn't feel true to fantasy for some reason to me, but it is like this, like there's a million point of views, there's so much going on, you're very confused, like there's just too much to keep track of, and the third book, every time it would change point of views, I would be like, why? Like, I feel like our main character, Bryce, I would like to see someone's chart of this. There has to be someone who went through and actually analyzed this. She had to have had like maybe 15% screen time in the book. I know there's probably a better word for that, but like, she was barely in it, and she's the main character. So where was she? What is happening? There was just so many point of views from people that I didn't want to listen to. And it gave me, might be unpopular, the same vibes as Throne of Glass. No. Of Game of Thrones, like the TV show. I have not read the books. How there's just point of views of people that I don't like. So then I have a hard time staying like immersed, because I just want to skip them. And unfortunately you can't, because they all connect. But I'm so sad. I am holding out hope for whatever she releases next, as long as it is not in the Crescent City series, because it is a finished trilogy. If she writes a novella or a spin-off or anything, I'm sorry, but I'm not reading it. I'm sorry, Miss Sarah. I can't do it to myself. And they're so long. They're like literally ginormous. So I just can't do it. But that is all my questions that I'm going to be answering today. I hope you enjoyed, and I cannot wait to see what the rest of 2024 holds. I have some exciting video ideas that I am very excited to film, and I am so excited to see everyone's wrap-ups and all of their videos that they're going to post for the end of the year and setting up the new year. So I look forward to seeing everything, and I hope you guys look forward to seeing me next time. But I will see you guys later. Bye bye!